Hi guys, Sarah the Northwoods Stitcher here, up in my craft room again today. We are having some work being done in the house, so I've actually got Puppy up here with me and she's in her bed right now, so you're hopefully not going to hear the little click click clicky of her nails. She has been going through every little bucket she can get her head into, and she's found my stuffy Peep bunny that was for my Easter decorations. And she has also found a couple of other little plushies up here that I was going to keep for decoration, and I've had to do some trading with her, so we'll see how this goes. I have been getting some framing done and some finishing done, and I wanted to show something that I showed in the last video that I got inspired to see if something else would fit on the back of it. If you remember, I showed this by Twisted Threads. This is Winter Gingham. And I did mount the little pipe trees or pipe brush trees on it. And somebody asked how I attached the denim. I just cut the denim and glued it in with the Eileen's tacky, is that what it's called? Original Eileen's tacky glue. So I just glued down the denim, and then the cross stitch is mounted on a foam board piece that was glued down. Now, when I glued that down, I made sure that I wasn't gluing cloth to cloth. So this is folded over in the corners, but on the back side around here is just bare mat board. That is glued to the denim. So that's the best anchored part. The corners aren't as well anchored because I didn't want to attach fabric to fabric if it got loose. But this is nice and tight. And I don't think I used too much. I used just enough. And then you can see I added some chenille trim to the inside of the frame all the way around, as well as to the outside of the mat, which is so cute. I love how it came out. But, you ready for this? Ta-da! The same designer, Twisted Threads, did Thanksgiving gingham. Now I wrote everything on the bottom. So that's called Thanksgiving Gingham by Twisted Threads. So I did one of these. I did the winter gingham. Oh, I did Thanksgiving gingham first. I did that on September 10th to the 17th. That's on a 28 count gingham linen. And then I did winter gingham from September 21st to the 23rd on 28 count celery white. Isn't that cute? I really love how it came out. So this is a wonderful use of a two-sided framed piece. I think it said something like cocoa and Christmas stuff, and it was this pale green background. And this is something I picked up at Walmart for $2.50 in their clearance. So this is quite sunken, hence the trees that are mounted here. And this one is not so sunken. So I'll just have this out for Thanksgiving, and then I'll flip it around when I do my decorations for Christmas. So wonderful, fun finish. I'm glad everything fit. I wasn't sure if it would fit, so that was a plus. Also, I finished Flea Market Flowers, and I can't remember if I showed it to you or not. So I'm really excited about this, you guys. So this is done on an 18 count Aida, 2 threads, and I used all called for DMCs. And it really went fast when I was in this last column by doing just the stem work and the green parts first, and then I went back and popped in the flowers. So I'm so happy to get this done. I don't know if I have a frame handy. I think you can see some of the frames on the floor here. I've put some of the frames away. I'm gonna have to pull out some of my bigger ones and see if something fits this. But I also might be taking a trip to Michael's because I think I might have 1 or 2 pieces that I want them to cut mat board for. I'll bring the mat board home and then piece everything together. I don't think I have any kind of mat board that's gonna go with the colors that I want for a certain cross stitch. So if I need to, I'll have to get another frame for that, but I'm pretty sure I have a frame this size. I'll put that to the side. Another fun finish I thought I would do Magazine Mondays before my Mill Hill Mondays. And I found this downstairs in my whip box in the laundry room. This was from an issue of Just Cross Stitch. I think this is February 2022. And I really loved this piece called Winter Serenity. Yeah, it was called Winter Serenity. Isn't that cute? I did something a little different with this. Now this is a 20 count Aida, and I decided to do the deer and this bit of snow, as well as the snow falling in between the trees. I did those with 2 strands of floss, but then when I was doing the tree work, I did all the tree work in 1 strand. So I think it gave it some dimension. I don't know if you can really see it on the screen. And I think because this is so small, what I'd like to do is frame this in an 8x10 with a mat. I'm gonna investigate that. But I just love how that came out. And again, that was Winter Serenity from the Just Cross Stitch issue in February 2022. So I got more threads to put away. I'm so excited because this means I get to get some things up. I have an excuse. And playing up here and trying to get things framed. Oh, I left something downstairs. I did do a bookmark. I'll have to show that later. I should probably make a note of it. No notepad. I found a pile of little things that I haven't quite finished figuring out what I was going to do for ornaments and such. She's walking around. So this was one of them. This is a little tiny pie plate. And this was all metallics and beadwork. So I think what I'm going to do is set it in here. I'm going to use some silicone and probably, hopefully pop it out just a little bit so I can get some type of hanging system in here. So I want a thread or a ribbon. Hi, baby. You want to come say hello? Come up and say hello. Can we say hi? Can you say hello? This is Abby. Hi, baby. Can you go lay down for mama? Mm-hmm. So after I get the silicone and set this in here, I've got this gorgeous maroon and gold trim, and I think I'll put that on the inside somehow. So that'll finish it off. And these little plates or pie pans I got at a Goodwill store. I think I have a total of 3 or 4 of them. So I think that'll be a cute way to finish that. Also in my pile of stitches, I don't have a name for this. Maybe some of you recognize it. It's called the Celtic alphabet. But I framed it in a frame that I got from, I think, a yard sale. But isn't that cool? The detail of the frame. Hey, leave Mama's stuffies alone. Not for you. Thank you. So that is finally done. I didn't have it, unfortunately, for St. Patty's Day this year, but I will next year. I really like how that came out because this frame really makes it. That was done in 22. I stitched that in 22. And I did add, I think, the gold metallic to it, which wasn't called for, but I thought it looked pretty cool when it was done. And then, what else have I got in my pile? I also framed or finished. This one is called Blackbird, and you can still get this pattern. I think it's a free pattern from the Stitching Book Club. If you Google Stitching Book Club or Google Blackbird Singing in the Dead of Night, you can find it. Now this was on, I don't know what to call these. It was like a standalone slat board type or almost like a fence board. And it was this weird purple color. So I just painted it white. And then I took a piece of foam board, covered it in some fabric, glued this to it. I cut it really short into the edge because I originally thought I'd do something else with it and it didn't work out. So this was the other idea that I had. Then I put some rickrack on the side of the mat board, and then I have this beautiful little raffia bow that I tied with some raffia that I had. I think it's a great spring design that can go out. I think I'll put this with my spring collection of things. And I wish I had done the blackbird a little darker. I did him in a variegated, and he probably should have been a darker bird. But I did it on a purple 16 count Ada, and I thought it was cute the way it came out. Also would have made a nice pillow. Then I finished. I'm not too happy with this. I might have to reset it. This is Miss Mary Mac. Whoa, that's quite a glare. I put this in a, I don't know what you call these cases, but this has a dimension to it, so it's got some depth. I think I'm going to buy some silver buttons to line the bottom and maybe put some on the outside. Oy, what a glare. It doesn't really, the frame doesn't do it justice. But this was done in April of 23, and it's called Miss Mary Mac by La Di Da. And I did this on a Picture This Plus fabric, a 28 count called Cyprium. And I did it over 2 with just the 310 DMC. It reminds me of jump rope when I was little. I think it's really cute. I might reframe this, but I like how protected it is. And I like the idea of getting some silver buttons in here. Because it says with silver buttons, buttons, buttons all down here, back, back, back. So that was a free frame. Yeah, this was a free frame I think I got from the dump that I just reconstituted. So those are some things I can put away now, clear my space, and get to some more framing. I also finished a bookmark, but that's downstairs and we're gonna have to wait until I go down and get it. We're up here right now because there's some loud noises downstairs, so we'll see when we can go back down. Let me go make a note of that. Hold on, please. All right, I took a little lunch break and I got my bookmark that I finished. So I did this one similar to the way I did the last one. I took some matching Ada cloth and just stitched it to the back, but look how I made a mistake. It didn't quite line up. So I decided to put my initials in the date that I actually stitched it. This was a free chart. It was a Ukrainian design that I just fell in love with, and I love the colors in it. I don't know if I still have the pattern, and I'm sure if you Google free Ukraine cross-stitch designs, this will probably pop up. But it was just beautiful, and it's still very, very flexible. It's quite thick now, but it is well protected and the back's hidden, so I'm really happy with how that came out. So that is done. I also went to the dump today. I have something downstairs that I can't bring up. I got a really large Rubbermaid step-on to have the lid. My husband says it's a fire rated. It's for oily rags. It says right on it. It's really, really clean. I actually brought it home because I thought I'd use it for my recyclables so I can keep my #2 plastics in it that go to the dump. So we'll see if it has a home. And then I found this weird thing that I haven't opened yet. I can't tell if these are pillows or pillow forms, but I thought I am finishing things, and if these are pillows, that's great. So let's open it up and see what it is. They look like pillows. I don't actually know what these are. I I don't know what this is. If it's a pillow, it's a very flat pillow. Let me pause this while I make all this noise. It is a pillow. Very, very skinny pillow. But they're brand new. There's 2 of them. And I actually might have some of those already done cross-stitch pillow forms that you can just stitch in the center. So what is this? Maybe a 16 by 16? Not a bad find. And maybe I could finish some cross-stitch with these. They're very, very skinny. So I think what I'll do next is I'll open up the other one and I'll put them both through an air cycle on heat to see if they fluff up anymore. They don't feel like the material that is going to fluff up, but I'm happy. I like free things. And this should help me fix some pillows that are downstairs on the couch that are pretty lifeless. And then I can get rid of some of the old ones that are just beyond help or have had too many dog heads on them. All right, let me pause this one more time. So prior to making more of a mess up here, I did some tidying up so I could get some of the frames put away so I can see what I have. But I found some projects that are in project bags that now need to go downstairs and become active whips. So I thought I'd share those with you. So I've got something in this bag. Oh. And then I've got something in this bag and this bag. So let's see what's in here. I see prairie schoolers. This is why I say I really shouldn't do my big binder of prairie schoolers, but I think I will devote a whole video to that. I'm finding them everywhere. So this one is book number 65 and it's called Acorns. Isn't that adorable? That is 65 acorns. Now I know why I have this out. We have a store up here called Camp Wool, and she specializes in a lot of wool applique. I really need to bring this downstairs because what I'd like to do is make a note or a picture of the felt that she uses in here. And I really would love to make some acorns for the fall. So I think I will do that. And maybe, it's supposed to be a pretty wet week this week, after our house construction gets done, I can talk my husband into taking me for a toot down there. What else is in here? Oh, this is something that my daughter bought off of Etsy. I don't think I have a color photo. Nope, can't show you that. It's a working copy of a landscape of mountains and the sky and trees that's done in a hoop. Hence the hoop. So it looks like I need to still kit that up. Then, oh, it looks like there's another thing in here. Oh, I wish I remembered the name of this. I don't have a color picture. This is just my working copy. This is a yin-yang circular design. One part is water, and the other part is mountains. I can show part of the graph. That's all you get. It looks like I started it. I need to bring it down. It looks like the threads are in here. So this would be nice to have downstairs in my whips bucket for me to pick up and start stitching on. It looks like it's going to be a massive stitch. I'll have to see if I can find my actual copy so I can show you what it's going to look like. So these are things to go down. I'm not going to kit up the acorns yet until I get that felt. That's really cute. Even with those leaves in the background, those would be fun to make. To scatter around inside the dough bowl. So maybe I'll get green and 2 different browns. Those are really cute. So I have to remember I've got a prairie schooler in that bag. That's to go downstairs. Now in this, looks like I have a whole bunch of stuff in here. I've shown this and I wanted to kit this up and I haven't yet. Ladies Who Lunch by Fox and Rabbit Designs. Bear with me while I take it out of the wrapper. Isn't that fantastic? I got that at Lakeside Stitches. This was something to win as a prize. I didn't win, so I had to go down and get it because I really fell in love with it. What a fun stitch that would be. And I think I have that frame. I know I have something that ornate, so depending on how big it is. There's a Q-snap in this pile, but I know that this isn't the one that's kitted up. Oh, this was also from, this was all stuff from that retreat that I went to last October. A Maine Moose. This is by Seguin Designs. I think I'll do that for our camp. That's really nice. Oh, here's my copy of The Flight. Is this the working copy or the actual picture? No. This is just something that needs to be filed away then. This was the witch on the scissors that I finished stitching. So that needs to go over there. It's an empty Q-snap. How sad. Oh, look what else is in this bag. Autumn Lane. Something Wicked This Way Comes. I really need to start this. Fantastic. And I've got the fabric. So the fabric for this, I remember this now because Patty, who owns Lakeside Stitches, she was working on this and I saw this and I thought I have to have it. So this is done on a Picture This Plus linen called Haunted. It's a 32 count. Oh yeah, this is so amazing. Look at that color. It's beautiful. And the floss list on this project appears to be 7, just 7 colors. So that's something I should consider kitting up sooner rather than later. And then we have another Autumn Lane. And this one's called Autumn Town. Sorry for the noise, you guys. But I do need to take it out. So this is Autumn Lane's Autumn Town. I do not have the fabric for this. But if I remember, it's a full coverage? No, it's not. So any kind of taupe, so the ground that the pumpkins are on, and like the lawn in between, that is the color of the fabric. It looks like the whole sky is stitched. That's really pretty. It does have some Gloriana silks, some Weeks dye works, but there are DMC substitutes, and there are quite a lot of colors in this. This will probably not get started before my Something Wicked This Way Comes. Why is that hard to say? Something Wicked This Way Comes. Absolutely beautiful stuff. I don't know why I like to keep it in the plastic to keep it protected, just in case. So, Lonely Q-snap. I guess I need to size these things up. Maybe I had that out for the Prairie Schoolers. Or the Ladybug. I'll have to get some sizing started. These won't go down until I size something up. Oh, I remember this. So this is a big bag. And in here, I don't know why I haven't worked on this. The Finery of Nature. Isn't that striking? It's just beautiful. The Finery of Nature. It's a gold collection. I absolutely love this. I do need to get some work done on this. I think I did start it. Let's see what's going on in here. Ooh, lots and lots of floss. It does look like some of the floss is separated. And it does appear that I have started to segregate it further. Ooh, there's a lot of floss. Now, I know you can't find this anymore. If you did find it, you could probably find it on eBay, and it's stupid expensive. This is a massive chart, but it's a beautiful chart. It's colorized. Yeah, that's a pretty big chart. I haven't gotten far on this. And it's got some gold metallics in it. Come on, baby. Come to mama. Probably not the best project bag for this because it's so big. Oh! So, I've done a little flower. That's it. That's sad. It needs to come downstairs so I can work on it. This appears to be an 18 count black. Let's see if it says that. The finished size is a 14 by 14. 14 count black Ada. Oh, that's 14. Okay. Boy, it looks smaller than that. But this needs to come downstairs because I do need to start picking away at this. Now that it's supposedly going to get brighter and stay brighter earlier. And it looks like I have all kinds of tools in here that I need, including scissors. So I think I will do that. Bring this one down. And at least get some of the working copies of the graph started. Make sure I don't lose any pieces of this. That is so pretty. I can do one section at a time because there are four different parts of it. All right, so those are going downstairs. It's not fitting very well. And I have one more joyful thing that I found at the dump that when I brought it home, it didn't work, but I got it working. Let's hope it performs. I'm so glad he works. I think what happened is some little kid probably tried to dance with him, and when I brought him home, you could hear something moving, but nothing moved. So I just kind of, I don't know, I gave him a back massage, and he's come to life. Now there is sound with this, but you guys would never want the sound on. Ready? Nope. That's so bad. I think this is so cute. What got me was his little detail on his vest. I thought it was so cute. And he's kind of quiet, but I think he'll look cute in the corner of the floor by the Christmas tree or somewhere on a shelf near the tree next year. So I'm just thrilled because he's old school. He came in his original box. So I have a way to store him. And now that I've shown him to you, I can take his batteries out. I might give him a haircut because he's a little too unkempt right now. I don't know how to treat doll curls, but he's a bit unmanaged right now. But that's my prize. All right, let me go get some more stuff. Something else that I found at a Goodwill recently for $2 was something I like to collect, and I probably shouldn't, but it's a Nordic Ware bunt pan. This is the mini one. These are super heavy, really nice weighted pans. Easy to clean if you use the right kind of spray in it. So I'm really looking forward to taking this down now, washing it up, and maybe making some little mini pan or mini cakes out of this, because they're just so pretty. And I can just imagine a bunch of these on a little cake tier, all decorated. And that would be fun. So that was a good find. You can hear how heavy it is. It's definitely worth more than $2. I also, was it this past weekend? Weekend before, because we just had a crazy snowstorm here. I went up to the Crafty Grimalkin. She has a website as well as a brick and mortar store. So I went up there and I did some shopping, of course. And I did some stitching, but I got some things to show you. And I'm really excited about some of these. This is a Kathy Barrick Caught in the Swirl. Isn't that pretty? Now I know I have the fabric for this, so this is a real temptation to kit this up sooner rather than later, but I do want to work on my whips downstairs. But I love this for some reason. Probably because it's just, well, it's got the birds in it. But this was, I think, a new Nashville release. I also got some free patterns that I can't show, but they were from the Nashville freebies. The Teresa Kogut, which is I stitch, that's what I do. And it's a gal in a green dress, and she's holding a pair of scissors. She has what looks to be an embroidery hoop with a bird on it. Not stitched, but like sitting on there. I'm going to take the embroidery hoop idea and probably stitch something in it, or stitch a little saying, but I think that's really cute. And then the other freebie one was from the Blue Flower, and it's called Sweetheart. Yeah, Sweetheart Squirrel. So that'll be fun to stitch. Make a little pillow for the fall. So that should be in my newest acquisitions. I guess I'll call it that. I also picked up Primrose Cottage Seasonal Sampling. Now this is from last year. This is called Winter. But I really love the little motifs in here. I can do a lot with this, but I think stitching it as a whole would be pretty too. It's got a little mouse, and it's got the snowman, the bird feeder, the birds, the trees. It's just adorable. That is a very large color chart, so this will be easy to see while I stitch in my chair. But wait, there's more. This is a Chessie and Me. I wonder if this has a date on it. I don't think this is a new release. This is called Return of the Whales, and I don't see a date. This is from 2020. I don't know where it's been all my life. Isn't that sweet? So you've got the lighthouse, the whales, stars, water, the land, the trees. It's adorable. This might have to be something I kit up sooner rather than later. It's just, this looks like it'll be a fun one to stitch. They're all Weeks dye works, so maybe I'll look at my collection and see what I have, what I need. I might have them all. So I can't leave that out right now. I've got to get those. I've got to do something with it. Blah, 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 blah. I got to do other things. But wait, there's more. Now this is called Pine Crossing. This is from Robin Pickens. This is from last year. Isn't that wonderful? I love those trees. And of course the cardinals. But it looks so Charlie Harper-esque. And I thought, wow, that's cool. I have to have it. She had a couple of others there that I might have to go back and acquire. This is also a color chart, which I'm not partial to because I like to make a working copy, blow it up on my copier, and then highlight as I go. If it's not, you know, in my markup XP. So this will be fun. I'll do this on a white Lugana. I should put it away. I'll do it soon enough. This one was interesting, and after I bought it, I thought, I don't know if I like how that's finished. But this is another Autumn Lane to All a Good Night. I don't know what this outline's supposed to be. I don't get it. So I might soften it up so it is just a arc design or pattern. I don't know what that symbolizes. I'll have to do some reading and see if there's anything about it. But this is To All a Good Night. I loved the blues and the contrast of the darker colors in here. I think that'll be really cute. I don't know why it got all ziggy-zaggy. So I'll take a peek at that chart. I always like to read carefully before I start stitching and then make some considerations for making it more personal or making it my own and changing some things up. This I absolutely is appreciated. It's only got 8 colors in it. Yeah, a total of 8 colors. And the stitch count is only 66 by 118. So it'll be a quick and fun stitch when I do tackle that one. But wait, there's more. I keep expecting my pile to end. I also got a Twin Peaks Primitives. This is St. Patrick's Day Smalls. I didn't feel like I had enough St. Patrick's Day things, so I picked this up. And this was put out in 2023. Look at this collection. I mean, this is perfect. I can make some long pillows, some just normal size front and back pillows. I think it's adorable. So I'm anxious to start some of these for next year, or at least get it kitted up so I can do a grab and go maybe in February of next year, because that's how my brain thinks. But this is a lovely collection. They are black and white charts, which I really appreciate. And there are pictures next to each chart, so that's helpful. So you can visualize how you're doing it. But the little motifs in here you can take and do for other patterns or designs. So if you want just the hat for a card, or if you want just the pot here of gold, or just the word luck, there's all kinds of different things that you can do, that you can change these up and make them bigger, smaller, make it a giant sampler. So I really like that. That was Twin Peak Primitives St. Patrick's Day Smalls. And then on the spur of a moment, we had talked about it but hadn't really planned about it. We took off for camp last week, so we went up there for a bit, and then we sat there and watched the weather, and it was not sounding good. So as we expected, we really did expect to get some more snow before the end of March. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get snow in April. But while we were up there, I had made plans with a friend, Barbara, and she and I did get some time to stitch on Friday, the only day that we had that window of opportunity to drive back in between snowstorms. So I did go and visit with her and stitch with her, and she said, oh, here's a whole bunch of stuff I'm trying to get rid of. And I was like, oh, what? So I went through her goodies too. So I've got stuff to show you from her collection that she parted with that I really would like to start as well. So I have from 1984, the Sarah Johnson Sampler, a reproduction sampler from American Cross Stitch Incorporated. So American Cross Stitch is who put this pamphlet out. Let's see if we can get a good view. Classic, classic, classic. I love it. And I also love the idea of maybe brightening up some of the colors. So the Greek key, for example, that goes around the border, I can change that up and maybe add some bolder colors. I'll do a floss toss and see what happens. I think this is wonderful to have the willow tree in it. I love willow trees. That's going to be fun to do. And then you don't have to do just the sampler. I like how they did the pillow. And then they did that. That was nice. Oh, I'm getting a message. One moment. That little commercial break was asking me if I had any acetone up here in the craft room, which of course every craft room does have, because you don't know when it's going to come in handy. And the tile guy needed it to clean something, and my husband was like, oh, do you have acetone? Of course I do. So down to the main house, I came to the rescue. Back to the pile. I'll have to take this one out of its aged bag. This is from, what year is this from? This is a Pat Harper design. And I want to say this is probably older than 84. Does it have a date on it? Let's see. Yep, 1984. So this is called Sarah Beecher Sampler. I don't know how I ended up with all the Sarahs in her collection. This is an adaptation of an 1835 New England sampler. I hope we can get a close-up of this. Again, another dark picture, but I really loved the border on this and the floral arrangement. I thought it was different. I think this is going to be fun to do. It doesn't look particularly large. I wonder if there's a stitch count on it. So on a 14 count, oh, here it is. It's 150 stitches by 175 stitches. So 14 count would be 10 3/4 by 12.5. I will probably do it. Wow, if I do it on a 22, it'll fit in an 8 by 10. I'll have to think about this. Very, very cool. I'm so happy to have these. I forgot to ask, and I'll have to ask her if she did these samplers. There's so many beautiful things in her house. I did not see these on the wall, but that doesn't mean that she didn't do them and they were somewhere else in the house. Okay, so where did I put the other one? Ah. This one's really cool. This is a Patricia Allison, and it's a signed, it's a signed chart. So this is a cross-stitch chart by Patricia Allison called Seasonal Dragons, and this is autumn. My husband said, "What is it?" It's a dragon. Do you see it? He's sleeping wrapped around the tree. Now that I've brought it home and I've looked at it, I'm like, am I really going to do all those leaves? Every single leaf that's stitched is back-stitched. But I do love it. So I think I do need to do this. It's a beautiful chart. It's black and white. Whoop, really big. And I don't know how many pages. It looks to be over 10 pages. It's going to be pretty big. 28 count is almost 14 by 12. well, let's see, 190 stitches wide by 162 high. It's a lot of backstitch and a lot of leaves, but I just think it's gorgeous. If and when I get this done and framed, it's probably going to have to stay out year round, not just in the autumn. This is from 2003. Absolutely beautiful. Get in the bag. There we go. Now, the other ones that I got from her, I don't think I can show because it's just a card with a chart. But I can tell you, I have 3 just Nan designs. I have Beehive Violets, Spring Peepers, Big Bee, Little Bee. Now, I don't know anything about these charts. They almost look like they could be biscornues, but they just looked really sweet, and they came with charms. So I'm really excited about it. I love spring peepers, and I love bees. And putting bees with violets, okay, you had me at purple. So I think I'm going to do 1 or 2 of these and decide if I'm going to frame them individually or try to figure out how to do a biscornu. I don't know if I can. These are from 1995, 98, and 1999. So if any of you have done a Just Nan design that are from these little purple or pinky cards, let me know. They look like they were popular, and she must have done a whole bunch of them. I'll have to go down a rabbit hole and see if I can find some ideas. When I look at the spring peepers, I just see the little frog legs and hands. I'm like, oh yeah, I have to do that. There are some Mill Hill embellishments, so it's not just the charm, but there's probably some other beading that's in here. So I have to look up to see which ones I can still acquire. The beads are easy, but when it says embellishment, I don't know if I could necessarily find some of the leaf charms that are out or were out. I'll have to figure that out. I also got a wonderful box from my friend Sophia, and when I opened it, I'm just overwhelmed. There's so many goodies in here, guys. I don't even know where to start. So I got this really cool, it looks like a cloche or a snow globe. Isn't that sweet? What a quick, simple stitch. I'm gonna love doing that. So this is from the membership. She's joined a club, and she gives me the ones that she doesn't want to do. So I don't know what her craft room looks like, but I get these an awful lot. And it's just, it's fun. Also in here is the February 2024 design. Now this came with the fabric. Comes with everything you need. And then, once you finish it, you'll notice it's sitting on a little easel. So everything you need to finish the project is in the box when you get it. And she is so careful and so kind to send me every little piece that I need. That's really cute. I need to see how big this is going to be and decide if I want to do it like that or if I want to do it as a pillow or a door hanging. I think this is just precious. So that was in there. It's kind of hard to unpack because it's so fancy. I showed you that one. that bag is full of the floss and the fabric and stuff like that. Duplicate, keep or give away. I had to make a decision on this. I can't show you this. Stay tuned. That's the Christmas one. What's this? What? Was that in one of the pictures? Not yet. Here's the frame for the little cloche. Here's a needle. I mean, everything's in here. Give away. She sent a Weekenders. That's really cute. I have to figure out how to do, unfortunately, this one's a little bent. It's still quite usable though. That's really cute. All right, I have to think about that. I don't want to exclude people if I start to do giveaways, but some of the overseas prices are really expensive. So this one was another Christmas one in here. This is October 2023. Isn't that sweet? That looks like it's done on a gray. Let's take a peek. Oh, I've got the... It didn't come put together. Easy enough to do. Stay. So let's see what color. Oh, that is a pretty colored fabric. This is kind of like a blue gray to stitch that on. That looks like a lot of fun to stitch. I might have to do this sooner rather than later because that's really sweet. I still don't know what the snowflakes were for, but I do love them. They'd be really cute on a frame. If I could figure out how to open them, we can investigate as to what they are. Here we go. Oh, I'm gonna get glitter everywhere. It's snowflake garland. Yes, please. Oh, this is precious. I really like this. Wow. Okay. Oh, I have a number of uses for this because I can put this on a little tree that I have here, or I can use this to decorate the top of one of my frames when I go to hang the frame. So how am I going to keep from getting... I shouldn't have opened up the package, right? How am I going to keep from getting glitter everywhere? I'm going to try to fold it up, and I'll probably put it in a different type of Ziploc. I'll be coming downstairs, and my husband will say, "Oh, I'm making cards. You've got glitter all over you." Oh, it fits in the bag. Whew, I made it. Okay, that was the end of that. Well, that's too much fun. So maybe I will take this. Oh, I have so many to do downstairs. I think I'll take it downstairs though, because I really want to stitch that one. And I will put this with it so I don't lose it. I don't know if I'll finish it this way, but it looks awfully fun to stitch. And it's narrow enough that I'll probably stitch in hand because I don't think I need a Q-snap for it. Now that is the framed piece. And I probably should bring down those bunnies. Gosh, Sophia, over the top. Thank you. So this is the bunny pile. This is the bunny pile. So I will put the fabric in here and take this stuff downstairs, because what I like to do is soak the Aida iron the Ada and get everything ready and prepped. And I will keep the little thing with it. Okay, let's put this away. I have another box full of stuff from her that I think I showed you in an earlier video. So there's plenty of stuff that is left in this room to show people. I am working on a make and take for the upcoming retreat in April. This is in mid-April, the Library Stitchers retreat, and that's going to be in Augusta. And I think it's been full for a long time. They do have a waiting list, and people have been canceling for various reasons, you know. So, you know, if you want to get on the waiting list for that, look up Library Stitchers Retreat in Augusta, Maine, and some information will pop up about it on how to get on their waiting list. But I'm going to make a little make and take for that, so I'm not going to show it. And that's going to be a cute little, no bigger than a 5x5. And I've got things that I want to take there to gift while I'm visiting, and I'm getting excited about it even though it's a month away. It doesn't feel like a month away, so that's on the agenda. And I'm going to start the Christmas cards next and show you how to do that. And I also picked up some Garden Gate when I was up at the Crafty Grimalkin, and I have to look up in my phone, what did I get it for? I don't remember. So I do know I wrote it down, and I will figure it out, but I needed Garden Gate to finish something or to kit up something. So that's on the list to do. So let me go get some cards started, and I will show you what ideas I come up with. So you may remember this was a little one that I stitched, and I have cut it out as small as I would like it to go on the card. I've shredded a couple of rows so it's kind of feathered on the edges. And I do have a couple of different packages of cards that already have designs on them, so I don't have to do any thinking, which is nice. Sometimes it's not so nice because it keeps you in a box. So I found this really cute little green polka dot, and it's blank on the inside. The envelopes are included. But with this, I have to decide, am I going to mount it this way, or am I going to mount it this way? And how I decided was what else I wanted on the front. So if I want just the design on the front, I can go this direction and then stamp on the inside, or I chose to do it this way, so I'll have a little thing on the bottom. This is what I chose to go on the bottom, this little stamp. It says Merry Christmas. This is 2 pieces though, because I stamped on white, I have to have it bordered with something. I might trim this down some more. I have a massive paper guillotine, and I have a small one. So it's just a small paper cutter. So we'll see what's going to happen. I kind of like the thick border. But in order to mount my cross stitch to the card, you can't just put the cross stitch on a patterned paper because the polka dots will show through. So I cut a little piece of white paper that will fit quite nicely just in the middle. So this will hide the polka dots. It's thick enough to hide the polka dots. And I won't glue the whole back. This is the back of the cross stitch. I will put glue only where the stitching is to hold it in place, because it's really not going to go anywhere. The back of this will be glued entirely to the front of the card. Let me do some mounting and I'll show you the finished product. Ready? Everything's in place. Now that I've mounted it, I probably should have done a larger green border around this too, but it's cute. I like it. It came out fine. I only did one of these because it took so long to cross stitch these, but this is a really sweet little card to get in the mail. Now, after I glued that white piece to the back of the cross stitch, the reason why you don't use too much glue is because it'll start to warp or bubble the paper. So then what I did was I took my double-sided sticky tape, put it on the back of that white paper, mounted it to the card, and then I used double-sided sticky tape on both sides of this. So it's on the back of the white and on back of the green, and everything's well secured. So now I can decide if I'm going to stamp an additional thing in here. Maybe I could do a little tree cutout to go in the corner just to colorify it in the center, and then I'll put something on the back that says handmade by. So there's my first little card. I'm so glad I'm doing these, guys. I was a little upset that I lost them in the pile up here. So disappointed with myself is more likely, or more what I mean. But now I have the little houses, 3 of these, and then I think I have 5. I have 4 foxes, these cute little foxes, and then I have 5 of these deer, reindeer. So I think with the foxes and the reindeer, I'm probably going to do a circle punch out of sorts, and then I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these, but stay tuned. I'm going to go play some more while this is drying, because it still has glue on it, so I don't want to put it in anything, and I don't want to continue to stamp on it until it's set. I just match it up with my envelope and I'll set it aside somewhere. Also in this pile is this really cool thing. I had to take this down because it was in the kitchen, and my sweet husband, you know, we're having tile work done, and that involves drilling and sanding and noise, dust. He said, is there any cross stitch that you need to put away that isn't in frames or behind glass? So this was down in the kitchen, and I said, ooh, my rooster, because it's so white and so bright. And I can't remember if I showed it to you guys or not, so I brought it up to show you. Now this is just a embroidery hoop painted matte black, and I set it in there and then put the little gross grain ribbon, and then I backed it with some, this is probably 2 pieces. There's probably a white one under here. Yeah, there's white and then there's blue. This is from a magazine called The World in Stitches, and this is Folk Roosters, and I don't know which issue of The World in Stitches. I didn't write that down, but it's done on a 16 count Aida, and this is an 18-inch hoop, and I used 2 strands for all the colors except for the black. I used 3 strands because I really wanted that to be bold and to stick out. So I thought you guys would get a kick out of that, because I just loved how this came out. So this can, I think, go downstairs after today. I have to find out. It's going to stay up here to be safe. Then I'll bring it down. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, I won something when I was at the Crafty Grimalkin stitching that day. We did some game, and I can't remember what it's called, but we rolled dice. We all bring 3 skeins of floss to start. You know, it's like gambling. So you got your 3 strands of floss in front of you. Roll the dice. There's 3 die. And they say either C, L, or R. So center, which is the pot. That means you put 1 in the center. R, 1 to your right, pass 1 to your right. And L to pass 1 to your left. Or if it's a dot on the die, you don't have to do anything. So you roll and roll and roll until you are completely out. Everybody's out but 1 person. And that last person who has floss gets the pot. There weren't many people at our table. I think there were only 5 of us. But I got a bunch of floss. I never win anything, so it was really exciting. So I have this to put away too. I shouldn't be making cards. I should be putting stuff away like this. But I'm going to go make another card and show you guys some more stuff in other segments. Wardrobe change. No, different day, guys. I got too late in the day, so I had to come back to doing the cards, but I wanted to show you how I put them together because a lot of you had some curiosity as to what I did. I have finished a couple. So this was a one and done, and I probably should have mounted that on some green, but I do like how that came out. I haven't decorated the inside, so that's one and done. Now this, I have the little foxes and the reindeer. So those are pre-printed cards that come with envelopes. And I'm going to show you how I mounted them because I did not poke a hole in the card itself. I mounted this all to the front. When I did that, I took something called some dies. These are the shapes that I used. And in order to get the green frame, which is that green border frame, I used 2 of these because they're little teeth on the inside that will cut the shape out. So it ends up looking like that. I roll this through a machine called a die cutter, and I'm not going to promote a single brand or because there's so many on the market, but I do have a certain one. And then I did it with just the smaller one so I could get just the white circle. Because ultimately what I want to do is I want to take one of these, mount it to the back of the stitch, cut it out just a little larger, but not so large as to go beyond this frame, and then glue the whole thing to the front of the card. So let me show you how I do that. I'm going to put it on pause while I do some cutting. So I have cut out the actual cross stitch, and when you look at the back, you see where it overlaps just slightly. There's no science to this. I didn't follow any lines, didn't do any measuring, I freehanded it. But what I can do now is on the back of the cross stitch, I'm going to apply glue only to where the stitches are. That will hold it to the white backing. Then I'll have this paper backing to mount onto the card. Wait for that. So here I've glued it to the back of that paper. And now I'm just going to position where I want it. And once I've decided where I'm going to have it on the card front, I'm going to apply double-sided sticky tape, probably just 2 short strips. And that is going to be enough to hold it in place. Double-sided sticky tape is fantastic stuff. So now it's just taped to the front. It's not going anywhere. To apply the border ring that I've cut out from the die machine, I'm going to be very careful when I look to see how I want it placed to make sure that I can cover the edges. And that's how it will look. I will take the reverse side and put a couple of dots of glue, and then I'll squish the card and let it dry. I don't want to use too much glue because that'll start to warp the paper. So let's hold on for that. Tiny little dots. And I'm just using the Eileen's Original Tacky. I really like this stuff. It's very versatile. Okay, that is mounted. I am going to flip this upside down and squash it. While that's drying, I'm going to show you how I did these cards. I didn't have a pre-printed card design that I liked for the houses, so I simply cut the house out, shredded the edges, then I put a white square backing behind the cross stitch and mounted that to the card front. So I glued the cross stitch to the paper just so no dark blue would show through, and I did the same thing after it was glued gently only where it's stitched. Then I put double-sided sticky tape, mounted it to the front of the card. I put on the washi tape because I like that little glitter effect. And then because I didn't have a white insert, I cut a piece of paper and mounted it on the inside with some sticky tape, double-sided sticky tape. I used a punch to round the edges. So I just rounded the edges with this punch. And then I used my tree paper punch to punch a little tree in the corner. So when I mounted it, it will show through. Simple and done. So those are all 4 designs. The black reindeer is done with a gold shimmery paper. So I'm going to finish up those cards and hopefully get this edited and get it up right after Easter. I hope you guys have a wonderful Easter. And I just wanted to thank everybody too. I hit the 3,000 subscriber mark. It was very exciting. And I just hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. I can't wait to see you next time. I'll have some more finishes, and I will be doing a video of all of my, well, anything that's in the binder of my Prairie Schooler collection. I have no idea how long that video is going to be, but that should be fun. And maybe I'll try to gather a few of the loose ones that are running around crazy in the craft room up here. Have a great week and happy Easter, happy everything. Enjoy your crafting and be safe. Bye, guys.